Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video, and in this video we are going to be talking about creating tables in HTML and the different tags that you can use for tables. So, first things first. First things first is that tables, generally speaking, are supposed to be used for showing data or information, but sometimes people will use them for layouts. Probably not the best idea in the world to do it that way, but you certainly could. I don't recommend it because it's a little bit harder on screen reader users when you do that. So, just an FYI there. So, how exactly do we even use a table in HTML? Well, in your body, you are going to put in a table element. So less than, table, greater than. Okay, so this is your initial table, and this table can take a table header, a table body, and a table footer. The T head or table header is where you will put your row with your column headers. The body is where you'll put the bulk of your table data. And then the footer of the table is generally for things like if you're showing calculations and stuff. That's where calculations for columns will be. That kind of stuff. So now, let's go ahead and actually implement a table that uses the T head and T body, and then we'll do another example that implements a T footer or a table footer afterward. So inside of your table, go ahead and create a less than T head, like that. And inside of here, we need to have a table row. Now, how do we do a table row? Well, that's with a TR element. So less than TR, like that. And then the next thing that we need to know is how do we actually create a column header or a table header type thing. Well, that is done with the TH element. So less than TH, like that. And in here, this table is going to be for the first four Sega Genesis main series Sonic the Hedgehog games. So first thing is game title. Another TH for release date. And then another TH for console. Now you could populate this with your favorite games, and you can totally do that. This table is generic enough that you can do that. All right. So now, outside of our T head, we can have a less than T body element. So let's kind of scroll down here. And inside of our T-body, this is where our data is going to be. So I said for the first 4 Sonic games is what we're going to put in the data here. So we'll say TR times 4. And boom, now we have 4 table rows. And here, for the actual data in the table, each bit of data is going to be stored in a TD element. So we can do this, we can generate multiple TD elements by saying TD asterisk 3. And theoretically, it should work, but it also might not. As is evident here, it appears that it didn't work. So, we can go ahead and have our TD times 3. Like that. Okay. And so in the first table row here, we have 3 table data elements. And the first one is going to contain the name of the game, which is Sonic the Hedgehog. The second is going to be the release date, so 1991. And then the third bit of data is the Sega Genesis for its console. And then in here, another TD times 3. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. 1992. Sega Genesis, like that. Then, for the third row, again, we have 3 table data elements. In the first one, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. $1994. And Sega Genesis, like that. And then finally, we can have 3 more of these TD elements and say Sonic and Knuckles. And again, 1994. And Sega Genesis, like that. Okay, so now we have all of our table data, our table column headers, and all that stuff. So go ahead and save your code now. and we will reload the page. And so here we have our table. The first thing you might notice about the table is that the rows and columns are borderless. They don't have any borders or anything like that. And that's because, well, that's because they just don't show up, right? They don't they don't show up by default, which is unfortunate. And so we can see here that for the second row, something went wrong. So let's go ahead and take a look here and see what went wrong. Okay. Right. Okay. So sometimes, I guess, you may have done something wrong, you may not have, and the table will sometimes be uncooperative, but this is pretty much how you create the tables with the table rows and the table data and the table heads and table body. Let's use a different example now. Okay, so now we're back down to a basic table. And one thing I should point out too is that the table data is not bold like the TH elements. And that's because the TH elements are for headers, for column headers, and those are supposed to be bold. Alright, so we can go ahead and save our code again, and you can see nothing shows up with the table. Well, let's change that. Let's say we want a receipt. Let's say we want an online store where we can sell games, right? And we want the product, we want the price, and we want the quantity. So let's go ahead and get started on that. This will use a table footer because we're going to need to be able to calculate totals and stuff, right? So we're gonna have a couple different games. But first we need our table head, so T head with a TR, and this TR is going to have a couple TH elements. We're going to need the product name. The price, and the quantity, like that. So let's go ahead and save our code and see what it looks like right now. So this is what our table looks like right now with the table headers. You can have a little bit of padding in there if you need it. And that's typically done with CSS. So now The next thing we need is a T-body. And in this table body, we're gonna take this one row at a time. So table row, and inside the first table row, we're going to have a TD. This is going to be the product name. So Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Okay, so there's that. The next column is its price. $, $60. USD. And then let's say we want to buy, 3 copies. So we'll put a 3 in there. Next is another TR. And inside this TR, we have table data for the name of the game, and this is going to be Super Mario Maker 2. Okay. And then the price again, that's going to be 60 USD. And we'll say we only want to buy one version of the game, or one copy rather. And finally, we're going to say TD, and this is going to be Legend of Zelda what's the new one called? I forget exactly what the new one's called. We're just gonna say Ocarina of Time. Now, if I'm misspelling it, I'm sorry, okay? I don't play Legend of Zelda. This is just test data anyway. So USD. Okay. And then finally, the last TD. And this will be, let's say, 4 copies. Okay. So now, with that being said, we can now actually have our table footer. And in the table footer, we can have another TR. And inside of this TR, we are going to have a blank TD, and then we're going to have a TD for the total price of all the or the subtotal of all the products. So we're buying 8 games. So 4 Legend of Zelda, 1 Mario Maker 2, and then 3 Mario Brothers U Deluxe. So that's 8. So whatever 8 times $60 is, and that is, let's see, 6 times 7, that's 42. And plus 8, that's 50. In fact, you know what? Just so we can clear up any confusion here, 60 times 8. So that's 480. Okay. Okay. Cool. And so subtotal and then we have a final TD in the footer. And this is going to be 8 products. Like that. And so now we can save it. And go in and take a look at our table. So here we are. You can see our table headers. We've got product name, and so with the longer product names, you can actually see that the TH tags have their text centered, and that's typical of column headers. So we have all the different games that we're buying. We have the price, which is $60 per game, which is pretty much what Nintendo does anyway. And then we have our quantity. So 3, 1, 4. And then in our footer, you can see we have subtotal of $480 USD. And then in the next column over, we have 8 products to give us a bit of a summary of what we're doing there. And because there's no need to summarize the products, we left that table date, that column, that cell rather, empty in our footer. So that is pretty much how you work with a table in HTML. Thank you all so very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.